I was on the show Lapeef Let's Talk, and the brother JR asked me a question about a moment. He was like, "My sister, my sister was is allowed to speak to me in the most disrespectful ways, and I'm supposed to take it. And she knows she's crossing the line. She will even get that way with my grandfather, and he will ask her to check it, and she still basically gives him the finger with her tongue. And I could hear the pain in that black man's voice when he's trying to say, why are our women, our black women, allowed to verbally assault us beyond the violence line? And they know we can't do anything because his sister knew, just like every other one of you know, that as if JR or anybody were to do what a man should do and check that shit, the first thing they're going to do is dial 911 white and come talk to the very white man that they keep telling you is oppressing you. The system, the man, white supremacy,
What
and
is
such
this?
and so forth.
Oh,
So again, that's where it came from. You cannot be pro black family, pro black community, and allow one way aggression from black women towards black men because it's that very system of white supremacy that she relies on to keep black men checked.
this is the issue I've been dealing with my family for a while. I just feel like at first I felt like it was a burden, but I realize now it's insight to what a lot of black families go through, and the same issues that you was having with your sister, I've had with my sister and my mom. And I noticed that a lot of us, sometimes we beat ourselves up because we can't. I don't know if you believe in God sometimes. I don't know, how you believe in God. But I feel like sometimes he do work that we can't do and he do the work that we can't see. And I had to get somebody in my family on the same page as me. And it was my eventually, and I didn't think it would be my mom, but it ended up being my mom. And she was a single mom, and she wasn't understanding at first, but when we started praying for my sister, and we like it's still some shit, but we noticed one thing, like this year, out of all the years we've been praying for her, like this year was the year she's starting to learn more about God. She was talking about the book of Cain and Abel. So we noticed, although her attitude is not changing immediately, we're noticing that she's integrating things in her life that could help. And we didn't even tell her to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because she was so stubborn that she didn't want to hear nothing from nobody. So we had to kind of take our hands off of her and pray for her and have faith. And it just started changing. Even like when I would get mad, usually when I get mad, because I'm a lot like you, and that's why my family try to make it seem like I'm the problem, even though I articulate my boundaries and what causes me to cross those boundaries. But somebody energy threw me off, but I just feel like faith is the big thing in it. It's a big part. I'm gonna continue to pray for your sister and your family. I feel like you can't give up on the best version of them. I do feel like when you're in that situation, the best thing to do, somebody has to be the bigger person. And if you know more and you have the ability to do it, definitely do it. But yeah, you do still have to set those boundaries and just pray sometimes, like I think prayer had a lot to do with the change that happened within
So,
my family.
I got a little bit of pushback for that particular situation. I have a saying now: you can't reason with unreasonable people. There are certain instances in your life where you just have to check out and separate, right? And you have, especially if you have the option to, like, because some people aren't going to change. So no matter how you are or how progressive you are towards a situation, it doesn't matter. Because if you're not going to get that cooperation from the other side because they're not reasonable, then you just have to learn to remove certain individuals from your life, right? I see the good in people when there actually is. But when there isn't and they're unreasonable, then I leave that shit alone. Sometimes you have to separate from some people to be able to get to the next level in your life. There are some people who will hold you down and you won't be able to progress because you're keeping that old baggage in your life. There are some instances where there's some people who are just toxic or, again, unreasonable, who or damaged, or maybe they just might be dealing with some mental issues or some trauma. And until they heal themselves, it's nothing that you can do for them. It's nothing that you can do with them. So in some instances, you just have to leave some people alone. You got to know yourself. You know how you are. And your best scenario would be to avoid them.
I agree, but I still think you should still pray for them, even in their absence. You should
Yeah.
still pray for them. That's family.
Well,
Like
that's different. Praying for them,
you
you still
can't
got to
give up
separate
on. When
though.
I say don't give up on them, I don't mean like in a physical realm. I mean in a mental realm. Like right, I'm always gonna believe. I'm gonna pray for you, but I'm gonna keep my distance, and I'm gonna have faith that God is gonna work on you, and you're gonna become your best self. I think sometimes when we detach ourselves from our family, we detach ourselves with the hate, with the resentment, or with them. I'm just not gonna fuck with this person at all, and you're not even praying for them no more. You're not even considering their well-being at times, and from losing somebody that close and being in a state of anger when we lost, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. When you actually release somebody with love and you still praying for them, that bond it's easier to let that person go and be. Because then now you know it ain't got nothing to do with me, and her acting the way she acting has nothing to do with me. It's because she's fucked up. So I'm gonna just let her be fucked up. I can't let her fucked up affect me, but I'm gonna wish her peace being fucked up, because you got to understand, with him gone or there, she's still gonna be fucked up. When he remove himself, he gonna be good, but regardless, she gonna be fucked up. So it's like, yeah, remove yourself
No,
to make sure you good, but in like I would still pray for my sister, and I wouldn't hold resentment to her. I just keep my distance. I'm not fucking with you.
but
I can trust you. I
y'all,
can't
this
be comfortable with you.
that not to cut you off, but this is what Darwin was talking about earlier. Like Lapeef played the clip, and we took the whole conversation from what Kevin Samuels was trying to talk about to a whole different, like, generalized conversation about family dynamics. And that's not what Kevin Samuels was talking about. That's not why JR played that clip. It was based on the women and men dynamics, and men being disrespected by women, and we've taken it to a whole different conversation. This is what Darwin was trying to point out earlier. When there's a point being made by the host or by a person, we have to stay on to what the topic was talking about, because then once everybody glue in and get ready to respond for the clip, now everybody's checked out because the topic is completely lost. And
Yeah.
that
From
I
what I
wasn't
heard
trying I
from
wasn't
Lapeef,
trying
it just seemed like when I was only responding to Lapeef, and the energy I was getting from him, it's almost like what Kevin Samuel said. When you tap into a person, you could feel their pain. You could feel that. And his pain is not just the fact that she disrespected him, but it's the fact that he wasn't even able to connect to bring her down, to remind her the importance and the rules of the house. And she wasn't allowing him to lead her as a man. Like, it was a little bit, to me, deeper than just the disrespect. It's just the fact that she would disrespect him, and it was a pain there. So I was kind of
but
trying to speak to his pain. I was
but
speaking
Well,
that's
to
I'm trying
Lapeef.
to give a point to when I was telling you, you said I know how JR feels, and that's why I interrupted and said you don't know how JR feels, because me and you being women in a position of, even in a family situation, JR was, he brought up the point of balancing the fact that her husband did not insert himself and bring her down. So then he's wondering how he, as her brother, can play in a situation to protect the integrity of of their grandfather's home at that moment. So he's speaking about his grandfather, himself, and the husband, and the dynamics of men when dealing with a woman who cannot be calmed down or is therefore unruly in that manner. It has nothing to do with just having a sibling and not being able to deal with them, or having family dynamics with mothers and fathers, and that's a family situation as a whole. But the whole reason he played the clip was for Kevin to address the manner of men not being able to really be free to help women.
Feeling
I
powerless.
don't. Yes,
I understand that, but what I'm saying is just like a lot of men say when they tell us. The reason why I brought that up, because I was dealing with an unruly woman too. So, and I understand where you're
but
going.
the way we deal with the unruly woman is different than what a man
yeah. I
can,
mean,
or
See,
how it is judged or looked upon
yes, I
from
agree.
so
other people. That's
I
the whole
agree.
point of the clip.